Hello everybody. I know that it is Thursday. I'm trying to get my camera done here. And that we normally do Facebook Lives on Friday, but I have some things going on tomorrow and I wanted to be sure that you guys got this information because this week and next week we're talking about goal setting, which is something that I am personally really passionate about, especially when it comes to kids. And so I wanted to make sure you got this information. If you're new here, we normally do these on Fridays, but today we are going to try to keep it under 10 minutes because I know you're super busy, and get you the information that you need to help your child with goal setting and to get the best education that they can. So why don't we go ahead and get started, because there's lots of information we need to talk about today. So you may be wanting to help your child set goals. So maybe you set goals in your own life. Maybe goal setting is something that is part of your family values. And so you want to help your child set goals so that they can improve their performance maybe at school, or even maybe improve their performance in sports. Teaching kids how to goal set is a really important thing because it's really important for the rest of their life to create happy and healthy adults and kids who are lifelong learners. Goal setting is something that they need to know how to do. So you may be wanting to set goals with your child, especially if they're maybe struggling at school, they're lacking motivation. Goal setting can be really helpful for them. But we commonly see parents make these three mistakes. And so when you're goal setting with your child, you want to try to avoid these, not just because they're mistakes, but because they can keep your child from realizing their goals or even liking the goal setting process. Some of these things can turn kids off. So here's my number one. Number one is putting in your own desires for your child's goal instead of their desires. So instead of letting your child take the lead and try to write a goal that accomplishes something that they want to accomplish, you are trying to get them to achieve what you want them to achieve. So when you're having that goal, we pause for a second. Instead of having that, during that goal setting brainstorming session, you are saying, well, why don't you, I think maybe a good goal would be for you to raise your math grade. When maybe your child doesn't want to raise their math grade. Maybe they're not passionate about that right now. It's hard because you have things that you want them to get done, but let your child take the lead. Let them realize what they want to accomplish. And your role in this is to just help them. So help them to put things into words that they can't quite get into words, or ask clarifying questions. So saying like, what do you mean by you want to get better at science? Or what do you mean by you want to run faster? Asking clarifying questions, being curious instead of like coming in and saying what you think that they should do is going to help keep your child from getting demotivated because they're trying to accomplish something that you have decided they should accomplish. I don't know if you've ever tried to accomplish something that someone else wanted for you, but that you didn't want for yourself. I think we've all been in that position at one time or another. It's really hard to do because it's not something that you want, or at least it wasn't your idea in the first place. Okay, so the number two mistake is not making sure the goal is actionable and realistic. So you're sitting down with your child, they're writing a goal out, they're deciding what they want to accomplish. But if you leave that goal setting session and have a goal that isn't actionable or reasonable, it's very unlikely that your child is going to be able to accomplish it. So actionable means that they can take set actions to get them towards that goal. So let's think about the goal of raising a math grade, right? That can be actionable because your child can set forth things they can do to raise that grade. They're going to say, I'm going to turn in all my homework. I'm going to gather up all my late work and go ahead and turn that in. I'm going to study for tests at least 30 minutes a day. Those are all actions that can get them to the goal. So if your child can list out actions that they can take to make that goal happen, it is actionable. And then realistic. So sometimes kids can't aren't very realistic with what they want to achieve. So as the adult, it's kind of your job to coach them into something realistic. So something unrealistic might be, I want to raise my grade from a D to an A, because that's like a big jump. And you're kind of setting yourself up for failure there. So reasonable would be like something small, like a small improvement instead of a big improvement. Maybe your child says, I want to raise my grade from a D to an A. And maybe you guys go ahead and like break that down into steps and say, well, what about our first goal is to raise the grade from a D to a C? And then we'll go from there. So help your child kind of get that realistic so that it's not such like a big mountain. Instead, they're trying to climb a hill. And then finally, the last mistake that we see parents make is not checking in regularly. So your child sets the goal, they decide what they want to do, they decide the actions they're going to take to get there. But then if you never check in with them again, the goal is not very likely to get accomplished unless your child is like a very motivated child. Even if you're setting goals with an adult, like the adult probably wouldn't accomplish the goal. So you need to check in with your child regularly. So set a day and a time with your child, put it in the calendar where you're going to sit down with them and you're going to talk about their goal. So it doesn't have to be super long, but just like a quick check-in to say like, how do you feel like you're doing on your goal? What action items did you take today or this week? What do you feel like you did really well this week? What do you feel like you did poorly on and that you could improve? And then like, what actions are you planning to take moving forward? And then you might also ask like, is there any way that I can help you as you're working towards this goal? Just that quick check-in, it really will take like 5 or 10 minutes, can be a huge game changer in making sure that your child is actually doing the things they said they were gonna do. And finally, this is not mistake related, but just when your child accomplishes that goal, make sure that you're celebrating it and make sure that you're making a big deal and saying like, I saw how hard you worked on that. And it's really amazing what you did to accomplish that goal. Even if your child doesn't accomplish the goal, recognize the effort that they put in and keep having those conversations. We're going to keep talking about this over the week. So don't go anywhere. If you have friends or family that you think this content would resonate with, please share it out and follow us to make sure that you don't miss any content. And if you feel like you need someone else in the mix to help your child set this goal, to help them get back on track academically, we would love to help. You can press that message button on our Facebook page or our Instagram page or our YouTube channel and message us and see how we might be able to help. Even if you just need some resources, somebody to bounce some ideas off of, we're here for you. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I will see you back next